everyone. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome everyone once again to day 11 of the Srimad Bhagavatam Katha by Satchidananda Das Prabhuji. Our sincere thanks to Prabhuji as usual for the wonderful Bhagavatam class that we are having this Holy Purushottam Mass. All of us are really blessed to hear the Bhagavatam Katha from Prabhuji, such clarity week after week. Our heartfelt thanks and gratitude for the same. Today will be the second session on verse 1.1.2. In the last session, Prabhuji started with the explanation of the verse 1.1.2. Dharma Vijahita Kaitavatra Paramo Nirmat Saranam Satam. So the key understanding that we got from the verse was that by completely rejecting all the religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavata Purāṇa propounds the highest truth and is meant for devotees who would like to educate themselves in pure bhakti and not for any material progress and prosperity. So we'll continue with the explanation of verse 1.1.2. And as part of the important day reminder, we would like to remind the devotees that coming October 13th, Tuesday, is Parama Ekadashi. So please fast from beans and grains. And next Wednesday will be Dwadashi. And the Paran time is 7:31 a.m. to 11:12 a.m. Hare Krishna. Now we would like to request Prabhuji to commence today's session. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Is it audible? Okay. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vyāsadeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishnaya Vasudevaya, Devaki Nandanaya cha, Nanda Gopakumaraya, Govindaya Namo Namaha, Krishnaya Vasudevaya, Devaki Nandanaya cha, Nanda Gopakumaraya, Govindaya Namo Namaha, Krishnaya Vasudevaya, Devaki Nandanaya cha, Nanda Gopakumaraya, Govindaya Namo Namaha, Namaste Purusham Madhyam, Ishvara Prakrite Param, Alaksham Sarvabhutanam, Antarabhahi Avastitam, Namaste Purusham Adhyam, Ishvare Prakrite Param, Alaksham Sarvabhutanam, Antarabhahi Avastitam, Nama Pankajanaභaya, Nama Pankajamaline, Nama Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankaja Angraye, Nama Pankajanaභaya, Nama Pankajamaline, Nama Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankaja Angraye, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, 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 Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Hare Krishna. So it is still Purushottam Mass. I would request devotees to do a search on this Jugala Ashtakam. This Jugala Ashtakam, you can go with the first 3 or 4 words, Krishna, Prema, Mai, M-A-Y-I, Radha. Krishna, Prema, Mai, Radha, and KK songs, please. So I will give everybody some time to find it. Krishna, Prema, Mai, Radha. The keywords you can put into Google: Krishna, Prema, Prama, Mai, Mai, Radha, Radha, in space KK songs. Thank you so much. Pankit Prabhu has posted it on the chat also. And he has also posted it on the chat, the entire lyrics, all the 8 verses of the Jugal Ashtakam. And he has also posted the link. You can click on the link and it will take you straight to that web page. So this is a wonderful Jugal Ashtakam glorifying Radha and Krishna by the great Jiva Goswami Thakur. So during the Purushottam Mass, it has been recommended by our Acharyas to glorify Sri Krishna, to glorify his activities, to glorify Radharani and Krishna by singing their glories. So the first week, Sunday, we sang the Chor Ashtakam by Srila Bilvamangal Thakur. The second Sunday, we sang Rupa Goswami's Nanda Nandan Ashtakam. Last Sunday, we sang the Jagannath Ashtakam. And today, it is the Jugala Ashtakam by Srila Jiva Goswami Pad. So I'm hoping everyone has found it. Krishna Premamai Radha, Radha Premayo Hari, Jivane Nadhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Krishna Premai Radha, Radha Premayo Hari, Jivane Nadhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Krishna Dravinam Radha, Radhaya Dravinam Hari, Jivane Nadhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Krishna Pranamayi Radha, Radha Pranamayo Hari, Jivane Nadhana Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Krishna Dravamayi Radha, Radha Dravamayo Hari, Jivane Nadhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Krishna Gehe Sthita Radha, Radha Gehe Sthito Hari, Jivane Nadhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Krishna Chitta Sthita Radha, Radha Chitta Sthito Hari, Jivane Nadhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Neelambara Dhara Radha, Pitambaro Dharo Hari, Jivane Nadhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Vrindavaneshwari Radha, Krishna Vrindavaneshwara, Jivane Nadhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Vrindavaneshwari Radha, Krishna Vrindavaneshwara, Jivane Nadhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Krishna Premai Radha, Radha Premamayo Hari, Jivane Nadhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gati Mama, Radha Krishna Gati Mama, Radha Krishna Gati Mama, Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Biriditam kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimad-Bhagavatam Bhuri Grinanti Je Bhurida Janaha Bhuri Grinanti Je Bhurida Janaha Bhuri Grinanti Je Bhurida Janaha Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. So a quick translation of this Jugalastakam. Swami Prabhupada is praying at the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna that may you be my gati, may I obtain the pure love of Radha and Krishna, may I obtain the eternal shelter of Radha and Krishna. So Krishna prema mayi Radha, Radha prema mayo Krishna. Radha is absolutely, completely absorbed in Krishna's prema, and Krishna is fully absorbed in Radha's prema. Jivanana dhane nityam. They are eternally, both of them are eternally the wealth of my life, the love of my life. Krishnasya dravinam Radha, Radhayam dravinam Harihi. Krishna is the wealth or the treasure of Radha, and Radha is the treasure of Krishna. And indeed, the life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, the Jugala Jodi. May they be my eternal shelter. Krishna Prana Mahi Radha, Radha Prana Mayo Harihi. Radharani is the life of Krishna, and Krishna is the life of Radharani. And Krishna Pranamayi Radha, Radha Pranamayo Hari, Jivanare Dhane Nityam, the eternal wealth of my life, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, may they be my shelter. Krishna Dravamayi Radha, Radha Dravamayo Harihi, may I melt in the prema of Radha and Krishna. Krishna has melted in the love of Radha. Radha has melted in the love of Krishna. And the life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna. May they be my eternal shelter. Further, Jiva Goswami Pad is saying, Radha is situated in the body of Krishna. Krishna Gehe Sthita Radha. Geha means the body. And Radha Gehe Sthito Harihi. And in Radharani's body, every part of her body, Sri Krishna resides. Jivanena dhane nityam. The treasure is them, Radha and Krishna. Radha Krishna Gatir Mama. May Radha and Krishna be my shelter. Krishna Chitta Sthita Radha. Radha's heart, the core of her heart is fixed in Krishna, and Krishna's heart is fixed in Radha. And the life's greatest wealth is Radha Krishna. May they give me shelter at their lotus feet. Nilambara Dhara Radha, Pitambara Dharo Harihi. Radharani wears a bluish sari because blue is the color, the Nilambar is the color of Sri Krishna. And Pitambaro Dharo Harihi. And Pitambar is the golden yellow complexion. The dhoti that Krishna wears is called Pitambar because Radharani is golden complexion. Jivanena dhane nityam. They are indeed the eternal treasure of my life. May Radha and Krishna be my shelter. Vrindavaneshwari Radha. The mistress of Vrindavan is Radharani, and Krishna Vrindavaneshwaraha. The master of Vrindavan is Sri Krishna. Jivanena dhane nityam. They are my life and soul, the treasure, my eternal treasure. Jivanena dhane nityam. Radha Krishna Gatir Mama. May they be my eternal shelter. So this is the wonderful Jugala Ashtakam. So at the end of this week, the Purushottam Mass will be finished, and then we will enter into Ashwin. And on 1st of November, it will be Kartik. So that's a very nice, very special month. For the month of Kartik, we will dedicate that month that is also known as Urjeshwari month, or the month of Radharani, and also the beautiful pastime of Damodar Leela, where Mother Yashoda binds Krishna with a rope to a grinding mortar on Diwali day. So this wonderful pastime, we will be singing Damodar Ashtakam as of 1st November, offering a ghee lamp to Krishna morning and evening. Please, very important things. Of course, I will repeat, and I will do the Kartik Mahatmya on the, I believe Kartik is on the 1st of November, which is falling on Sunday itself. So in 2 weeks' time, we will be celebrating Kartik by the Kartik Mahatmya, singing Damodar Ashtakam, and then we will enter into the wonderful Leela of the Damodar Leela until we finish it. Probably it may take good 4 Sundays to finish that beautiful Leela. Of course, it is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. I believe it's in the 10th canto and chapter number 8 or 9. So we will take a few key verses and we will describe the great poem that has been compiled by Satyavrat Muni, known as the Damodar Ashtakam, and we will try to go into detail, dive deep into the rasa as explained by our Rasik Acharyas, especially Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami. So we are looking forward to these wonderful auspicious days that will help us in our spiritual life, that will multiply all our spiritual activities by hundreds and thousands of times. So let us all take very good advantage of whatever is left of this Purushottam Mass and the upcoming Kartik Mass. So Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vāsudevāya. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayaudirayet. Vinvantha swakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtanam hridiyantasta bhadrani vidunoti surutsatam nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistikhi. Narayanam namaskrutyam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayaudirayet. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की जय। आराध्यो भगवान व्रजेश तनयस तद्धाम वृंदावनम रम्या काचिदुपासना व्रजवधुवर्गेण तया कल्पिता। श्रीमद् भागवत पुराणमलम प्रेम पुमार्थो महान श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभुर्मतैदम नायत्र आग्रह परः। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। So today is Sunday, October 11th, 2020 in the Purushottam Mass. We will be entering part 2 of the Srimad Bhagavatam first canto, first chapter, verse number 2 chronologically, but technically it's verse number 1. The 1.1.1 as mentioned was the Mangalacharan. As mentioned, it is the commentary of the Gayatri Mantra and it is the invocation before Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Vyasadeva started remanifesting or compiling Srimad Bhagavatam. So the verse again that we are studying is Dharma projita kaitavatra parmo nirmatsaranam satam vedyamam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapotraya unmulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krute Kim va parai Ishwaraha Sadyo Hridi Avarudyate Yatra Krutubhuhi Sushrubhi Tatshadat. Dharma Projita Kaitavatra Parmo Nirmatsaranam Satam Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Shivadam Tapotrai Unmulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim va parai Ishwara Sadyo Hridi Avarudyate Atra Krutubihi Shushrubihi Tatshara. Very, very beautiful verse. To quickly summarize what we discussed last time, we described what dharma means. If you all can recollect, dharma means the constitutional position or the constitutional eternal duty of an entity. And we had given examples like the constitutional position of sugar is sweetness and white color. The constitutional position of salt is saltiness and white. The constitutional position of dharma of fire is heat and light. So there is the eternal dharma or the constitutional position of the jiva or the soul. And the eternal dharma or the duty of the soul is savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radhokshraje ahituki apratiyata jena atma suprasidhati. This verse is also going to follow very soon in this first chapter. The topmost duty or religiosity of mankind is uninterrupted and non-materially motivated bhakti to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. 2, there are many different deeper meanings, but when that verse comes, we will go into it. But the essence is there are many different types of dharmas or duties according to time, place, and circumstance that are relative in nature, that are changing in nature. Those are temporary, but that dharma that is eternal is of the jiva is seva, service, and bliss, ananda, and that is only derived when one serves the eternal personality, the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. We even explained that many people in this society, including people on the mental platform, people on the intellectual platform, they consider their dharma or duty to be the ideal father or to be the ideal mother, in the sense their duty is towards the family, to the children, to the relatives. It is further extended to the community. Then further it is extended to that society. Further it is extended to that state. Further it is extended to that country. And even further it is extended to mankind. A lot of the mental and intellectual personalities whose thinking is those who are into philanthropic works, they consider that as the highest. They consider Manav Seva as Madhav Seva. And that, considering that as the highest, there is a folly, because Srimad Bhagavatam tells us otherwise. The pure Vedic literatures that have been compiled in the pure mood of bhakti tell us otherwise. All that is good. We do not propagate that one should not be dedicated to one's family, to their children, to their brothers, sisters, parents, etc., extending their love, kindness, wealth, help to relatives. One should, if one is capable, definitely do that. One should even extend it further on towards the society, the state, the country, even to mankind. But don't consider that as the highest. It's a very fundamental thing. I want to repeat this because if we, as mentioned, that in a mathematical equation, even if we are off by one number or one digit, the ultimate result will be wrong. And it's very important to understand what the eternal dharma is, or the eternal duty is, which is distinctly separate from all other duties that have been manufactured, or that have been manufactured out of a material circumstance, that arises out of a material circumstance. Let us take a very good example. Right now, in this material world, the ideal father or the mother or the brother or the sister or the parent will take excellent care, giving all needs to the family. and sometimes even sacrificing their own basic needs. And that person is considered to be worshipable and considered to be the ideal. And that's what is being taught by so many philanthropic institutions and even under the banner of religion. But that has been considered as a pious activity. And piety is a very good thing. Unless and until if one is on a pious platform, then one can go beyond piety, which is Shuddha Sattva. Our Shastras describe that. Shuddha Sattva means the transcendental, beyond the three modes of material nature, beyond the mode of tamogun, ignorance, beyond the mode of rajogun, passion, beyond the mode of satogun, or the mode of the goodness. So all these categories, all these isms, ISMS, ending the prefixes and the suffixes. So the suffix with the ISMs are considered on a pious level. Socialism, altruism, patriotism, etc. If one is able to distinguish between them as a separate category from the pure category of pure dharma, then their understanding and realization of pure bhakti will be sooner and very quick compared to those who consider piety as the highest. We even explained that those who are committing to impious activities or sinful activities, they eventually end up in the hellish planetary systems. The 7 different hellish planetary systems that has got thousands and thousands of hells according to the degree of their impiety. Just like according to the degree of a crime, the judicial system punishes a criminal with a befitting punishment. And those who are committed to pious activities, which we described, sacrificing even one's needs, being selfless to the extent of taking care of the family, relatives, society, state, country, mankind, through philanthropic attitudes, charity, etc. That particular entity or the jiva will be promoted to one of the 6 heavenly planets as described in the Vedas. But if you all remember, my dear devotees, the 7 hellish planets, the middle planetary system, Earth, and the 6 heavenly planetary systems, they are all within one Brahman, or within one ball known as a Brahman. And like that, there are millions and millions of Brahmans floating in space in this material world, which comprises only 25% of the Supreme Lord's creation. 75% is spiritual. It is Vaikuntha. Vai means no, and Kuntha means anxiety. The land of no anxiety in Sanskrit is known as Vaikuntha. This material world, the 25%, is the Kuntha Jagata, the land of anxiety. What is the major difference? Major difference is everybody in this Kuntha Jagat, or in this material world, or in this 25% realm, is under the influence of Maya. from the ant to Lord Brahma, who resides in the highest Brahma Loka, the highest heavenly planet. All of them are subject to the three modes of material nature. The Devi Devatas, or the demigods, and persons who reside in the heavenly planets are predominantly very, very sattvic in nature. But still, sattvic means the mode of goodness. It is still the three modes of material nature that bind us. That is why they are known as guna. I have explained that before. Guna in Sanskrit means qualities, and guna also means a rope. So a rope is used to bind an animal, a rope is used to bind a criminal. So we are all criminals in one sense, because we have become averse from Sri Krishna, and we want to independently enjoy, and we want to imitate Sri Krishna, and we want to become bhokta. Bhokta means the enjoyer. Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram Sarva Yajna Tapasyam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. I am the enjoyers. Bhoktaram Sarva, all Yajna, all Yajnas, sacrifices, Tapasya, austerities. Bhoktaram Sarva Yajna Tapasyam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. I am, Ishwar means controller, and Maheshwar means the top controller. Sarva, all, Loka, the entire creation, the 25% material creation and the 75% spiritual creation. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. I am the ultimate controller. And at the same time, I am Surut Sarva Bhutanam. I am the well-wisher of all. So, if somebody, and this is a very important question, why some people ask, since the point is coming, why is it that some jivas are in that 75% who are liberated? We are minorities. And even a minority in the sense we are in one small Brahman. And in one small Brahman, we are on this earthly planet, or in the 14 planetary systems. The 14 planetary systems, including the heavenly planets, even beyond just the, even in the earthly planetary system or the earthly universal system, it comprises of what we understand in the modern science with the one sun, one moon, and modern science doesn't agree with that, but Bhagavatam says that in one Brahman, there is only one sun and one moon that gives light to all the heavenly planets and to the earthly planet. The sun and moon light doesn't reach the hellish planets. So just to understand the proper Vedic geography. But unfortunately, there are cheaters and the cheated. In the 1970s, they declared that they had landed on the moon. The Apollo missions, the last one being Apollo 11. That was such a big hoax. Nobody can land on the moon. Moon is very far. The sun is even further. It is like in astronomical calculations, it's really huge in numbers. That is why even light that comes down to earth, that shines from the sun, it is measured, or any planets that are luminaries, when their light is seen from this earthly planet, either via telescope or by the naked eye, its measurement is, those who have understood physics or science, its measurement is in light years. It is not in earthly years. That, oh, it takes so many thousands and millions of earthly years to convert into one light year. I forgot my physics. It was a long time ago that I had learned it. But perhaps you, some of the youth who are listening, or somebody can Google it for me. One light year is equivalent. Maybe Pankit, Prabhu, you can Google it and send me an answer on the chat right now if you can. How much is one light year equivalent to in earthly years? If somebody can quickly do it and just post it in the chat, I will appreciate it. Because I don't want to say something wrong. I want to try to be as accurate as I can in regards to, did anybody find out what 1 light year is equivalent to in terms of 1 light year is about 6 trillion miles away, 9 trillion kilometers. Thank you so much, Pankit Prabhu, for posting that. 9 trillion kilometers. Please try to understand. Look how amazing Krishna's Srishti is, creation is. And that too in this one Brahman. There are as many Brahmans, that many suns, that many moons. But in one Brahman, in the 14 planetary system, there is only one sun and one moon. And in this particular Brahman, this sun, according to the modern scientists, it is measured in trillions of light years, and 1 light year is 9 trillion kilometers. So basically, from the time an atom from the sun that is permeated with light leaves the sun planet, by the time it reaches Earth, it takes 9 trillion kilometers it travels. That's a long distance. So whatever light we are seeing today, it was 9 trillion kilometers that it has traveled, and what we will see, the continuous process is happening. So that's a long time. Even with the fastest space, maybe this is going to be a very educated thing, and that will make us appreciate Krishna even more. Somebody, Pankit Prabhu, another task. What is the highest speed space vehicle that has traveled, that has been made by NASA or any of the leading countries? How many kilometers per hour? Can you quickly check it and then divide that by 9 trillion kilometers and see how many days it will take or years it will take to reach the moon and sun? You can give me the answer later, but it's a very long time. So if these so-called scientists and astronauts at NASA and at Sputnik and all those satellites that were released by the Russians and others back in the early 70s, it was a hoax. They landed on some satellite. Satellite means every planet has satellites that revolve around it. That is the definition of a satellite. And there are many objects in space, like comets and rocks, that have been actually disintegrated from a larger solar system. And they are simply floating in space, and they are pretty huge in size. So the NASA scientists, the Apollo missions, etc., they had landed on some satellite that was very close in orbit to the Earth. And then because they had spent millions and millions of dollars in that project, that the taxpayers' money, obviously they had to take some pictures, put the American flag, and label something else that they had landed on, known as they had landed on the moon. Pankit Prabhu has very nicely, the fastest speed achieved in space was 165,000 miles per hour. 165,000 miles per hour. Can anybody divide that into 6 million miles and give me an answer? How long does it take, if that is the case, to go to the sun or the moon? It will go into thousands and thousands of years. I'm not so perfect in mathematics to do it mentally, but it can be done on the calculator. And again, Pankit Prabhu, you can do the honors by doing that. So these folks who claim to go on the moon in a week or in a couple of days, once they break the Earth's gravity, and they landed on some object and they claimed it the moon, then think about this. And Prabhupada in the 1970s, he was on television and he boldly declared that no, it is not possible to go on the moon within this body, or we cannot manufacture something on this earth that will take us to moon or the sun. Not possible. The distance is too vast, and there is no question of anything that we can make, materially speaking, on this earth that will take us to the moon planet, because the temperatures are extremely sub-zero. It is way beyond even what anybody has even imagined. And the sun, obviously, the heat is so intense that any material object that will come in contact with it, from our experience on this earthly planet, will probably melt when it is even millions of miles away. Even when the sun, they're talking about this global emissions and the global climate change. What is actually happening? I'm not trying to give you all a lesson on global climate, but this is a part of what I'm discussing. Is because if the sun even changes its orbit or the distance or all the different screens that are there between the earth and the sun, if the screens are screens, meaning we are talking about the natural atmosphere that has many layers of oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, etc. When those screens get depleted or they get compromised, then the sun's, although it is so far away, the sun's rays and the heat becomes intense because of the dilution of the atmosphere, even by a very small amount. Can you imagine if the sun moves even a fraction from its position, it can burn the entire earth, the heat itself. So this is something that we should think. And none of these scientists or these countries after the 70s are talking about going to the moon again. None of them. Nobody wanting to spend the money for afraid that they are afraid, because now people are getting more intelligent due to the media, due to the different technology, and people can understand. People are not foolish. Just like, something that nowadays we can at the tip of our fingers use Google and try to get so much information. So here we have a nice answer. Pankit Prabhu has posted that 6 trillion divided by 165,000 kilometers an hour, that would take 4,000 years of travel in space. And that would be equivalent to 1 light year. Can you Google one more thing? How far is the moon or the sun in terms of light years? So for 1 light year, it would take 4,000 years. So 4,000 years at a speed of 165,000 miles per hour. The maximum that we are able to drive in our regular cars, that is, maximum dial will go up to 220 kilometers per hour, 160 miles per hour. Some of the more expensive cars, the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis, are perhaps maximum they can go is 300 kilometers an hour. Ideally, they don't even go that fast. The jet aircraft that we fly to India and other countries at 40,000 feet above, they travel at about 800 kilometers an hour approximately, or 600 miles an hour. 5,000 miles an hour, it would take approximately 37,200 years for 1 light year to be covered. And the sun and the moon are many light years away. So here's the math. They're contradicting their own formulae, their own explanation. So this is something worth thinking. And Prabhupada on a national television in Los Angeles clearly said that no, they never went to the moon. And they were shocked when they heard that from Prabhupada, because Prabhupada speaks from the Vedas. Srimad Bhagavatam, the 5th canto, is full of Vedic cosmology. It explains all the and there are so many other literatures. One day when the time is right, maybe I will need about 3 to 4 hours on a session that by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and our Acharyas, I have produced one. About 10 years ago, I had produced a multimedia presentation on the creation of Krishna, explaining what I'm speaking in more simpler terms about the 25% region of the material world, of the hellish planetary system, the earthly planetary system. And talking about the earthly planetary system, the so-called Milky Way galaxy, etc., is part of this earthly planetary system. It is not even a part of the heavenly planetary systems, because that's why I like to use the word not heavenly planet, but heavenly planetary system. They have their own universal forms or their own universal systems. So the 6 heavenly planetary systems consist of many, many different heavenly planets, or the 7 hellish planetary systems have got 7 seven different universal hellish universal systems, and in that there are thousands and thousands and millions of sub hells that have been created. Just like a big jail, you have, when you say that, oh, do you know where that big jail is? Yeah. It is not too far, on this street around by the river. So they say that. But in that jail, there are thousands of cells where thousands of prisoners are housed within the jail. So similarly, within the heavenly planetary system or the hellish planetary system, there are thousands of different heavenly planets and hellish planets. So in this one Brahman, which is so small, like that there are bigger Brahmans, and that comprises 20. And we have not even explored a part of our Brahman or our earthly planetary system. What to talk about the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth heavenly planet or the hellish planets. So again, this all depends on how much faith we have in our Vedic system, which is so perfect. Aryabhat was the first one, the mathematician, who invented the zero. These rascals, as they say, they take the credit for so many things. The Germans, if you all didn't know, they actually many years ago, during the time of Hitler, we have heard that they used to study Sanskrit very deeply, and therefore they actually kind of spoiled the shape of the swastik. The swastik is basically an auspicious symbol that symbolizes auspiciousness, comes from our Vedic culture. But some or the other, they messed up, and their swastik is not. It's in the opposite mirror image of our swastik. And they used to study Sanskrit, and the atomic bomb and all that they're talking about, the paramandu. It's there in the Vedic system, and all the other different, like in the time of Lord Ramachandra, when they fought all those wars, and they had the Shabda-bhed barns, and they were all nuclear weapons. With mantra they were activated. They were not ignited by some batteries or by some. They were ignited by mantras. Mantras were so powerful. So that technology is lupta now. It is completely kind of barely the modern scientists have scratched the surface of that technology that the Vedas, we are talking about material. This is all material stuff. There's paramanu and all that. This is nothing but materialism. What to talk about spirituality, and that is what the Srimad Bhagavatam is dealing with. When Naradji said that you have described elaborately so many things in the Vedas, material things, or science, Vigyan, etc., demigods, their pastimes, etc. But describe something, because most people in the Vedas, they are thinking about that dharma would be like in the Manu Samhita, how to be an ideal man, how to be an ideal father, how to be an ideal mother, how to be an ideal citizen, how to be an ideal king. So all these are pious activities that will keep us trapped with this guna in this material world. So therefore, Naradji blessed Vyasadeva with that vision, so that he can compile something that would only deal with pure dharma. Because people with normal intelligence or normal mentality, they're as it is used to material sense gratification, how to eat better, sleep better, how to make life comfortable better and better and better, which is completely material in nature. It has got nothing to do with the soul. And that is the reason Vedas is full of all those subject matters, including spiritual subject matters. But man, and generally those who are in this material world, have the inclination to enjoy or to exploit the material world for their personal sense gratification. And therefore, they are always looking for ways in the Vedas to find those chapters, to find those verses where they can eat meat, where they can do karmakand, so that they can even get more money, etc. So Prabhupada explains in this particular verses purport. He has written a wonderful purport. He says that religion, including the four primary subject matters, which is what dharma, pious activities. Here, the word dharma means the temporary dharma, not the eternal dharma. the pious activities which we have been describing, which is the charity, etc., helping the family, the society, all the ism, socialism, patriotism. So most people take the support of the Vedas and those Vedic literatures that are on the pious platform, like Manu Samhita, etc., and they study dharma based on that, and they consider that as the highest. And those dharmas include the primary subject matters of pious activities, economic development, artha, dharma, artha, kama, satisfaction of the senses, how different senses can be satisfied, like the rasayana science, like the science of food, or what we know known as the culinary arts. In the Vedas, there is a division of that, and that Ayurveda also explains that in this cold season, what should be taken, or what kind of foodstuffs that are hot in nature should be, and in the heat, cold foodstuffs that can bring coolness to the body. So that rasayan, that science of the culinary arts, so that is sense gratification. Sense gratification is also included those sciences, how to have better sex. We have heard about the Kama Sutras, etc., that are even today that have been portrayed on the Ajanta Ellora caves and so many temples. Those were all different. So here what they're talking about through the Vedas, the different components of dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, and those then later on who became very tired and not fully satisfied with the calm, with the material objects and sense gratification, and all the material things that they had obtained with all the money and with all their material desires fulfilled, with many houses and sometimes many women and many kinds of enjoyments, etc., with good food, etc. All these things, the satisfaction of the senses, they finally, when they see that they're not fully satisfied, some of them, even in today's world, we see that those people who are extremely rich, some of them, they have everything, more than what they can even, most people can even imagine, like most expensive cars, more than one estate home. There's a winter home, there is a summer home, there is that home, this home, so many maid servants and drivers and chauffeurs and so many things. In spite of them, we hear this news on a regular basis that such and such a millionaire committed suicide, because that satisfaction is not there in the heart. In the heart, the soul resides. And whatever activities that are revolving around dharma, artha, kama, moksha, that lead to the satisfaction of the senses, or the satisfaction of this gross body, it will never be able to satisfy the soul. And that is the reason sometimes people don't know why they are dissatisfied, in spite of them having everything, materially speaking, that one can imagine. So Prabhupada mentions that eating, sleeping, mating, and defending are the 4 functions common to man and animal. This verse is from the Mahabharata. What is that verse? Ahar nidra bhai maithunam chat etad naranam pashubi samana. Dharmena adhika visesho dharma vihina pashubi samana. Eating, ahar, nidra, sleeping, bhai, fear, maithun, sex, are common to man and animal. They get the same satisfaction as man. We should not think that because we may be very hungry and we eat a full plate of lunch or dinner, and after that we get a satisfaction, and if somebody had a satisfaction meter and it is trapped, it will show 100%. Same thing will happen if a hungry dog or a hungry donkey has not eaten, and when it eats to its fullest content, that satisfaction meter will show 100%. Ahar, nidra, same thing. It is not that just because we can sleep on a nice $2,000 mattress with the best comforts, we will get better sleep or better satisfied than other animals. No, that dog that is sleeping on the streets of Delhi or Bombay with the full traffic in the middle of the day is fully because it's tired all night. It was doing what it was doing, barking or waking up and running around, and then it is tired, and during the daytime it is taking it's in a deep sleep. and no matter how many buses are going by, or how many cars are honking, or how many people are going, it is undisturbed. Same way, a man who is very, very tired, coming home from a very tedious day, simply, sits on the couch and just falls asleep right there, even sometimes without taking the shoes off. So that deep sleep is also there for animals. And if a satisfaction meter was planted on that man and the dog, it will show 100% that in the deep sleep they're getting the same satisfaction. Same thing with fear. We all have fear. Fear arises, attack arises out of fear. The main cause of attack is fear. We are all fearing something or the other. We are fearing that, that when we are walking on the street and somebody is in the evening time, dark time, if we hear some footsteps behind us, we are fearful. Oh, who is behind us? We are careful. Oh, we see somebody who is not so nice looking. Maybe we should be careful. And then you try to reach out into your bag for anything that you may have, like your tiffin, or somebody may have a knife or whatever, or somebody may have a gun. So out of fear, attack happens. And that can happen even to a cat or a dog. They will attack with their tail and nail and claws out of fear. That when somebody is trying to trespass their territory or try to take over their meal, then they will fight tooth and claw for it out of fear. That I will lose the my sense gratification. So ahar nidra, and of course the biggest fear is death. And because we think that we have this body, we are going to die, the highest fear is that. Those who are not on the bodily concept, they do not fear death. They are abhay charana ravindare, because they have taken shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. One of the names of Krishna's lotus feet is abhay charana ravinda. One who has surrendered to the lotus feet of Krishna has obtained that abhaita, fearlessness. So eating, sleeping, mating, and sex also. It is not that human beings enjoy better sex. Animals also, if that meter is strapped on them, hypothetically speaking, they will also show a great degree of satisfaction as human beings. So eating, sleeping, mating, and defending are the 4 principles of animal life, Srila Prabhupada writes. But Vyasadeva says in very, very harsh words, those who are doing that, they're as good as animals. Naranam Pashubhi Samana. But what distinguishes us from them is dharma. We are talking about the first word dharma again still of this verse. Dharmena adhika visesha. One who cultivates pure spirituality that is not motivated by any material motivation. Dharmena adhika visesha. We have that extra adhika visesha, specialty in us as human beings. Dharma vihina pasubhi samana. And if we do not cultivate that pure dharma that is non-motivated by materialistic activities or sense gratification, pure dharma, which is only pure seva to Sri Krishna, thereby we will attain pure satisfaction or bliss. Then that dharma is described as the eternal dharma of the jiva. One can, and we can see even in the perverted stage, the jiva's dharma doesn't change. We gave the example last time of that sparrow who is flying 100 times to feed the little baby fledglings in the nest. Why is it flying 100 times to get a few pieces of straw or few worms or grains and feeds each and every little fledgling in the nest, and then goes back again, because only so much it can hold in its beak, like that, up and down, because seva is the nature of the jiva. The jiva in the sparrow's body cannot give up that nature of seva, and the motivation is bliss. You get a certain happiness out of doing that seva, that you're taking care of the babies. Similarly, the so-called ideal pious punya vyakti gets that satisfaction of serving the wife, the children, parents, brothers, sisters, relatives, society, state, country, and mankind. Because they are getting a certain satisfaction out of it. But the center is still I. I am getting satisfaction. It has got nothing to do with Sri Krishna. So Prabhupada in his purport is mentioning in this verse that this is all motivated, that dharma, the pious activity is also motivated due to artha and kama. And when the kama is frustrated, then they are looking for liberation. Please try to understand this principle. I am repeating certain things that are extremely important, and if we understand this properly, then we will not fail in understanding the higher subject matters. Otherwise, it will just become like a sort of a study like children do when they're in school and college. They just want to finish the course and somehow just pass. Our passing means when we attain pure bhakti. Other than that, we have failed. And that failure is based on what has been taught, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, the chatur purushartha that most people are after. People come do pious activities because they will know that they will get money. If I donate 100 rupees to a hungry person, I know somebody is watching over me and I will get 1,000. The motivation is that I will get, it will be multiplied. That there was a song in Hindi in our childhood we heard. I don't remember which movie. That's not important. But everything we can use in Krishna's service, including our certain experiences that we have. In one movie, there is a song, Garib ki tum sunoge, wo tumhari sunega. Tum ek paisa doge, wo 10 lakh dega. Meaning, of course, most of you all understand Hindi. And maybe some of you all even remember this song. If you have heard it, it was a black and white movie. I don't remember. It's not important which movie. But the theme of the song was that there is a beggar on the street begging. And he is singing this song. And he is approaching all the people, all the passerbys. And he's saying, please listen to this beggar. Garib ki tum sunoge. If you listen to this beggar, ek paisa doge, give 1 paisa, 1 cent. Wo tumhari sunega. He will listen to you. Wo tumhe 10 lakh dega. He will give you 10 lakhs. He will give you 10 million. So this is the motivation. Today, even we see that many big industrialists who are pious in nature, and they do all these pujas and all these yagyas, and they even go to this Tirupati Balaji, who is Krishna himself. But their motivation is not bhakti. Their motivation is they want to donate something. Last year, we donated 5 crores to Tirupati ji. Our portfolio this year became tenfold. So I want to go again. He will make time in his busy schedule to go at least 2 days to Tirupati. He will do mundan, shave his head, and this time he will give 10 crores. And he will give this and that because he knows it will be multiplied. So what is the motivation? So even when people are giving donations, even nowadays when people we see in temple, it is for pratishtha. Their name should be on the brick. Their name should be on the bench. Their name should be on the wing. In the hospitals, people donate. They put the name of their family members, donated by the late such and such person. So this is basically the motivation of charity is also sense gratification, either in the form of money or in the form of pratishtha or fame. So please understand this. So like this, unless and until we cultivate pure religion or dharma, or we reject all those kinds of dharmas that are motivated by material life, dharma projitta kaitavatra, that will cheat us, that will keep us in this 25% of Krishna's creation, that will keep us in this Krishna's creation, and again and again we will be reborn based on our karma. Sometimes as an animal, sometimes as an insect, sometimes as an aquatic, sometimes as a human being, sometimes as a rakshas, sometimes as a demigod. Ei rupe brahman brahmite. In this fashion, we are simply going around in this universal systems, in this material world. Nanpran Prabhu has already Googled it. See, he said the name of the movie was 10 lakh. Thank you, Nanpran Prabhuji. So that was a very old movie. We had seen this in our childhood. It was in black and white, this song. So the motivation is materialism. So we have to get better than animals. We are the human form of life. And religion is that extra function, pure religiosity that is non-motivated by a tinge of materialism. Therefore, in human societies, there is some form of religion which aims at self-realization. And that self-realization is bhakti. That self-realization is realizing that I am not this body, I am a spirit soul, and I am the eternal servant of Krishna. Jiver Swarup Hoy, Krishner Nityadas. In the lower stages of human civilization, when our consciousness is polluted and contaminated, we try to compete with the Lord. And that is the reason why the Lord made this material world. Because he says, I am the bhokta, I am the supreme enjoyer, sarva yajna tapasya, I am the Lord and master of all the creation. And we wanted to imitate him. We were envious of that, and we wanted to enjoy independently of Sri Krishna. So then Krishna, who is Surut Sarva Bhutanam, in the same verse, he created this material world specifically so that we can try. The word is try with a big underline. Again, I say try to lord it over material nature and try to be eternally happy. And Krishna knows that again and after being born millions and trillions of times, the time will come when they will give up these materialistic activities and they will come back home like the prodigal son. Do you all know that story of the prodigal son in the Bible? When we were studying in the convent schools, they used to tell us all these parables and different stories from the Bible and that were fables. One of them was the prodigal son. The prodigal son story is very simple, where there's a very, very rich father, extremely rich father. And the son, and the father had many sons. And one of the sons, as he grew up, he said, Father, I want to become independent of you. Give me my part of the wealth, and I would like to go away. And the father was very sad when he heard that. Am I not taking care of you nicely? No, but I want to be independent. Give me my part. So this was a very, very wealthy father. Reluctantly, after so much crying and after so much, he sanctions it. He sanctions it and he gives his son enough money that could last him a lifetime. But the son came in touch with bad habits and he lost all the money. He started begging, he started robbing, and then he would get caught. And when the police and the society would catch him, they would let him go. He's the son of this great person. Let him go. And they let him go many times. And like that, he was in a very miserable condition. Sometimes he could not get even people to give him anything to eat. And he was hungry. Many days he went without sleeping. He was already in tattered clothes. And then finally, it dawned on him, and maybe I should go back to my father. My father has always been kind to me, and he will accept me. And then he goes to the house, to the huge mansion, and on the gate, the security guards, they stop this ugly-looking person in tattered clothes. They could not recognize him, that he's one of the sons of their master. And then he says, I'm such and such, please call your master. And they give the message. And as soon as the master hears that his son has arrived, the lost son, at the gates, he drops everything and runs fast with open arms. And open the gates, let him in, let him in. And the gates are opened and he's led back into the rich mansion, into his father's arms, and his father cries. And he is crying, please forgive me, Father. I wanted to enjoy independently of you, oh my dear father. And the father says, say nothing more. You're back home now. Welcome back. So this Christianity in its purest form is simple Vaishnavism. That's what Prabhupada and even Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his Gurudev, and Bhaktivedanta Thakurji had accepted that. They had actually, and in fact, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada's divine guru, in his conversation with Professor Sathars of Ohio State University, professor of theism in 1920s, when he came to Kolkata during the East India Company to study theism, he had the opportunity to have a conversation. Professor Sathars met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And of course, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was a very, very, even from material standards, an extremely educated and a very scholarly personality. He knew many languages: Farsi, Urdu, Arabic, of course Sanskrit, Bengali, and many languages, and of course English. His English is immaculate. In fact, even today, if we read some of the articles that have been originally compiled by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in English, one would have to keep a dictionary next to him. So when he told Professor Sathars, and Professor Sathars started talking about Jesus Christ, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that we Vaishnavas are better Christians because we follow the word of Christ. Christ said, "Thou shalt not kill." Moses in the 10 Commandments says, the 10 Commandments are from the Old Testament. And the Old Testament is the source of the Jews, is the source of Islam, and the source of Christianity. And then later on, it all kind of segregated because of their prophets into different religions. But the root is the same. And there they all are transgressing the very first law. Thou shalt not kill. And all of these, whether it is Jews or Christians or Muslims, they're all eating meat. Is God or Jesus or Moses so unintelligent that he does not use the word murder? The persons argue, like the Bishop of Canterbury argued with Prabhupada when he met him, that it is only meant, that commandment is meant for not killing human beings. So when killing a human being means it's murder, and the word murder is used in the Bible. It is not a modern term. It's in the Old English. Thou shalt not kill, it applies to the entire dominion of the Supreme Lord. Even in the beginning, when Adam and Eve, according to the Old Testament, when they were the first, like in Islam it is called Adam. In Christianity they call Adam. The Jews also say Adam. That's why even in Hindi we say Baba Adam Ji ka Chamana. If you all know that means it's from the very, very old days. That means in the beginning of the creation, according to the Islam, Judaism and Christianity. So God had instructed in the Garden of Eden to Adam, you can enjoy everything in this Garden of Eden. It has got fowls, it has got beasts, it has got fruits, it has got flowers, it has got all the crops, and it is under your dominion. Please take care of it. You are like the king and queen, Adam and Eve, and they are under your protection. You have dominion. The word, I remember in my childhood, I had remembered this word dominion. That is written in the Old Testament. And then further it got rekindled when I read the books of Srila Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So dominion means a Raja. And the dominion means the Praja. Praja means one who is being taken care of by the king. What kind of a king is that those who are supposed to be protected by that person is being killed by that person and be eaten by that person for his own or her own sense gratification. Can we eat cut? We are hungry, and sometimes even there are poor people who don't get enough food or a loaf of bread. Will they cut their children, little babies, and eat them up? Wouldn't that be very cruel? So same way, the animals are a part of the ecosystem that the Supreme Lord has created, and they are to be protected. cows have to be protected. The animals are of a lower intellect. Supposing if somebody's family, there is a child that is born autistic or has got the Down syndrome and has got some issues, mental issues, will the parents kill that child because that child is less intelligent? So we are better Christians, the Vaishnavas, like that. So the point was that what I'm trying to drive home here is that in the modern civilization, man is just trying to thrive economically. And at the present moment, he's not interested in going to the church or the mosque or the temple if things can be obtained, material things can be obtained very easily. And those who still believe in some form of religion, then it is generally done for dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Prabhupada mentions that people are interested in factories and shops and cinemas, etc. Ugra karma, that is called ugra karma. Industries, more than it is necessary, that creates a hazard to the life of people, that creates a hazard to the environment, that creates the hazard to the 8,400,000 species of life. And only during elections they make an issue about the greenhouse emissions and the oil fracking and this and that. And I will stand for the environment. Once they are in office, then nobody cares. So Prabhupada mentions this. So in the Vedas, the above mentioned 4 activities are prescribed in a regulative way, so that there will be no undue competition for sense gratification. But people want to bypass, shortcut. Even sometimes when the Pandit comes to the house to do some ceremony or even in the wedding, "Arey Pandit ji, time ho gaya, kuch jaldi kar sakte ho, shortcut mein kuch kar do na." So the Pandit ji needs more dakshina. So he will, then start rumbling out those mantras, and who cares? Just finish it off. So nowadays, people are so much inclined towards sense gratification that they are not even thinking properly, even those who are pious by nature. But Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental to all these sense gratificatory activities. Therefore, it is saying dharma projita kaitava atra, rejecting all those temporary and materially motivated beauties or dharmas, projita, with extreme profuse dislikeness. This Srimad Bhagavatam has rejected such types of dharma. Kaitava, they are cheating religions. And why is it cheating? So somebody can ask, what is there considering pious activities as cheating? Considering pious activities is the highest is cheating. You're cheating the world, cheating yourself. We are not saying that pious activities is bad, but do not consider pious activities is good. Punya karma is good, but it is not the highest. That's where the fault is. When most of these missions that are there, whether it is the Ramakrishna mission or Chinmaya mission or that mission, it is all around philanthropic works. And at the end, I am God, you are God, aham brahmasmi. And then aruha krutchena patanti adaha. Then when they die, because they had attained some kind of a transcendence, just a glimpse of transcendentality. I'm talking about the highest transcendentalist in the movement of Shankaracharya path, the Mayavadis, the Brahmavadis. They get the Brahma Jyoti, which is just beyond the 25% region of the material world. But it is still a barrier that Brahma Jyoti keeps. It is like a fence, like a moat, M-O-A-T. That will keep you from coming into the main castle or into the main land of happiness, into the main land when there is no anxiety, known as Vaikuntha. That Brahma Jyoti, the entire Vaikuntha is surrounded with that belt of Brahma Jyoti. which will not let the Mayavadis and the Brahmavadis to go beyond that. And then finally, they get tired of being there and exercising their minute independence. They desire to come back. And when they come back, they involve themselves into this philanthropic works. Patanti, the patanti, that is Brahmaji is mentioning this. I forgot the whole sloka. Arua krachena padanti adha vimuktamanena. They think that they are liberated. Vimuktaman, they are cheated. They cheat themselves and they cheat the people with these philosophies. Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental to these things. It is pure in all aspects, and it can be understood only by those devotees who have a clean heart. Then they will understand the real purport of Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, Srimad Bhagavatam, anybody can listen to it. It will have some effect, no doubt. But for those who are parmo nirmatsaranam satam. Nirmatsaranam satam. Satam means devotees. I explained last time the different anarthas. One who has become completely cleansed, or in the process or the desire of being cleansed, they will understand the real meaning of dharma, pure bhakti, and they will understand Srimad Bhagavatam. It is like a big warning. If you want to hear Bhagavatam so that you will make money, or you will get some material motivation of dharma, artha, kam, and moksha, then this is not the place. There are many Vedic literatures that can grant you that. So, dharma projita kaitavatra parmo nirmat saranam satam vedyam vastavam atra shivadam tapotra unmulanam. Vedyam vastavam atra. What does that mean? Vedyam means that something that is real, something that is eternal, something that is an eternal fact is known as Vedyam. Vastavam means in reality, another word for Vedyam. Vedyam means to understand. Actually, understand the absolute truth, the real meaning, the real purport, the true and one and only meaning, full of purity. Vedyam. The word Veda, Vitta, means to know. Vedyam means to know, to understand. Vastavam, the absolute truth, the facts, which is not going to be subject to change based on time, place, and circumstance. It is true in the past, it will be eternally true now and in the future also. That is the meaning of Vastava. Atra, Atra means in this Srimad Bhagavatam. Vastu, substance. And what is that Vastu? That Vastu is Sri Krishna. Krishna is the eternal Vastu to be known by the Vedas. Vitta, to know. Vitta means to know. Vasta means to understand. And when we come to that understanding that Sri Krishna is the factual, real thing to know forever and eternal, then tapotray unmulanam. Tap means miseries. Tray means three. Tapotray means the three miseries. Miseries have been categorized into three different categories. Adhyatmik klesha. Klesh means misery. Adi bhautik klesha. And Adi Daivik Klesha. This 25% region with the millions of Brahmans have this nature that it is impermanent. There is Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. There is birth, there is old age, there is disease, and there is death. Birth, death, old age, and disease is the quality of the material world. And miseries, that is caused due to this, that cause this birth, death, old age, and disease, are divided into three. Tapotraya. What are those three? Adhyatmik klesha, the miseries that our own self or the body gives us. Fever, cold, flu, body pain, depression, etc., etc. Cancer, that is adhyatmik klesha. Adi bhautik klesha. In this material world, others are the cause of the miseries. Somebody is very rude to us, they make us very unhappy. Somebody can be violent, we get attacked, that is bodily injury. Even a small insect can give us adhyatmik klesha, like a mosquito bite. Or this adhyatmik klesha that we are seeing globally now, the COVID-19, that has been given by others. That's why social distancing is very important, so that at least we don't get that part of the adhyatmik klesha. I'm sorry, the adi bhautik klesha, miseries that are given by others. Adi bhautik, by others. And adi daivik klesha, in this material world, this 25% region, miseries that are inflicted by natural catastrophes or devas. Excessive rain, so Lord Indra is not happy, and of course he's instructed, destroy all the crops. These are all slaughterhouses. They're killing millions and millions of cows. Mass karma. When mass karmic reaction happens, perhaps this COVID-19 could be an adidevik klesh. When they say paap ka ghada bhar jata hai, congregationally, in a group, country-wise, nation-wide, earthly-wise, then these things happen. Pestilences, plague. It is a way of waking us up that so much paap, cumulative, it is being done. Tsunamis, all these things that happen to show that how powerful Krishna's Maya is. Under the instruction, under the laws of nature, the time comes for destruction. At that time, the Adi Daivik Kleshas are set forth. That only happens in this material world. But one who has Vedyam, understood, Vastavam, factually, Vastu, Sri Krishna, or trying to understand the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, who is Govindam Adi Purusha, Sarva Karana Karana, who is the cause of all causes. Shiva Dam, to that person, auspiciousness will come. Shiv means auspicious. Shiv means auspicious, well-being. No wonder Lord Shiva, Mahadevji is known as Shiva, because he's always looking for the well-being of persons. He is a great Vaishnava. Vaishnav jan to tene kahe je peed parai jane. Narsi Mehta, the great Krishna devotee, compiled this bhajan in Gujarati, which Gandhiji took a liking for, and it became very famous due to Gandhiji. But this particular bhajan is in pure bhakti, glorifying the Vaishnava. And who is a real Vaishnava? Vaishnava brings auspiciousness everywhere for everybody, always wishing well to that person. Vaishnava is never unhappy. He's only unhappy when he sees the jiva suffering. Vaishnav janta tene kahiye pida parai chale. One who knows the miseries of others. These Vaishnavas, they bring Sri Krishna, they bring Bhagavad. That is Vastu, the real object. He is the Vastu of Ashray. He is the Vastu or the object of shelter. And when one takes shelter of Sri Krishna, all auspiciousness comes to him, Shivadam. And when auspiciousness comes, then the tapas, the tapotray, three different adhyatmic, adibhautik and adidevi kleshas, miseries, are unmulanam, they are uprooted. Very nice words. Unmulanam means sometimes I'm taking one of the Srimad-Bhagavatam classes in Gujarati on Mondays, and we are studying presently the Ajamil Prasanga that glorifies the holy name from the 6th canto. And in that, Sukadeva Goswami has already narrated in the first 5 cantos creation, how Krishna creates and the different intricacies. And he also describes the material worlds, about the heavenly planets, the earthly planets, and the hellish planets. So in this chapter, Parikshit Maharaj, being a good Vaishnava from his heart, he is asking. He's not asking about heaven, he's not asking about anything else. First thing he's asking that how can the jivas, persons can be saved from hellish life. Because he had just finished describing the different types of hells. So Parikshit Maharaj, naturally being a wonderful Vaishnava at heart, he's asking Sukadeva Goswami, how can the jivas be saved from the hellish life? So in a nutshell, Sukadeva Goswami Pad is saying, if one repents, repentance, prayashchit. So Sukadeva Goswami gives that answer, but Parikshit Maharaj kind of is not very happy with that. So he said one should repent based on Shastras, as per the Shastric injunctions. He's not happy with that answer, not satisfied. So he says, yes, that may be true, but it seems like repentance is like a bathing of an elephant. This is the analogy he gives. Bathing of an elephant. Parikshit Maharaj says, yes, it is the bathing of an elephant. An elephant takes a full bath, very nice bath in a very pristine waters, in a crystal clear lake, for sometimes for hours. And then after finishing the bath, the very first step it takes on the bank, and with the trunk starts slapping the mud that is all around on the tata, on the bank, all over the body. And all that snan or that bathing that was done for the last 3 hours is washed away. Again, he's dirty. By the very first foot he takes up out when he comes out of that lake. So then Sukadeva Goswami is thinking, wow, my student is of a very high caliber. So then he says that one should take the shelter based on the Vedas of Jnana and Karma. Then one will not commit pap. So Parikshit Maharaj says that may be true, that when one takes shelter of the Vedas according to the Jnana and Karma Kand, it will burn away all the past sins. But he compares that to an analogy of a forest fire. Davanal. In the forest fire, when a huge forest fire takes place, everything is turned to ashes. The small creepers and the huge trees, strong even trees like the bamboo trees, they're burned to ashes. But Parikshit Maharaj says, so the sins are completely burnt. like all the foliage and the trees are burnt in a forest fire. But after some time, when it rains, slowly those creepers and those little saplings and the trees, they slowly start coming out. How? Because the root is still there under the ground. The root is not destroyed by the fire. So even by taking ashray or shelter of the karma kand, etc., and the jnana, taking shelter of jnana, that propensity to perform sinful activities still will remain. Although temporarily sinful activities may vanish in a jiva's life or in a jiva's existence, then Sukadeva Goswami Pad gives the ultimate answer. He says, yes, to completely uproot. The word that is applicable here, you may be wondering why I'm bringing this katha into the picture. Because the word that is being used in this particular shloka is unmulanam, tapotrai unmulanam, to uproot those miseries. And that can be done through pure bhakti. And that pure bhakti's analogy is given as just like early morning when the sun rises and the dew, the morning dew that is spread all over. As soon as the sun rises, that dew completely disappears. So pure bhakti is the best form of repentance that will never ever leave a propensity of sinful or sin. It will eliminate it completely. Similarly, Srimad-Bhagavatam will bring auspiciousness, Shivadam, and it will uproot. It is not temporary. All other activities on a pious level are temporary. Even Lord Indra, who is in the heavenly planets, after his post is finished, he has to come back. Again, Narsi Mehta in Gujarati. Bhutara bhakti padarth motu brahma lokma nahire. Punya kari amrapuri pamya ante 84 mahire. Bhutara bhakti padarth motu brahma lokma nahire. Punya kari amrapuri pamya. Punya kari amrapuri pamya ante 84 mahire. Bhutad bhakti padarat motu. The kind of pure bhakti that is possible in this earthly planet, it is not even possible in the heavenly planets, because there is aristocracy. There is so much opulence that people have the tendency to perform pure bhakti, and they are motivated more and more to those pious activities so that they can enjoy more in the heavenly planets. So pure bhakti can be attained on this earthly platform. Bhutada bhakti padartha brahma lokma nahire. Even in the highest heavenly planet known as the Satya Lok or Brahma Lok, it is not possible to obtain it. Punya kari, Are Baba, you have lived all your lives by committing to wonderful punya karma, pious activities. But what have you achieved ultimately? Punya kari amrapuri pamya. The best you got is the third swarga with the capital city of Amravati. Amrapuri means a short form of Amravati. Information is there that the third planet, the Swarga planet, the planetary system where Lord Indra, the king of Swarga, resides, with Brihaspati, the demigods, Guru, and many other, with Apsaras and denizens, etc. That is the third Swarga. There are actually 6 Swargas, the topmost being where Lord Brahma presides. But Punyakari, when mostly people do past activities of religiosity, feeding the poor, etc., charity, Amrapuri Pamya, 40,000 years one can live there. We have information, we have heard that average lifespan in that Amravati is 40,000 earthly years. But ante 84 mahire, 40,000 years means there also slowly as you are approaching the 40,000 year, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, birth, progressing towards old age. Somebody is born in Amravati, in the heavenly planet. So slowly, 1,000 years, maybe that 1,000 years is considered the childhood time, or 2,000 years. Then youth is at 10,000, 15,000 years. And then old age starts coming in after 30,000 years. And 40,000 year death comes on an average, just like the average lifespan here in this earthly planet is about 90 to 100 or 105 years old maximum, somewhere there. Even those who make it to 90 years is considered a big thing these days. So Punya Kari Amrapuri Pamya Ante 84 Mahi. You have to come back again in the 8 million 84 Mahi, 84 lakh yoni. 8,400,000 species of life. Srimad Bhagavatam is not that. Tapotra in Muni, even in Swarga there is tap. Because there is death, no? There is old age there too. In Swarga. That is material time in Swarga. So the three taps are even there in Swarga. When Hiranyakashipu laughed and raised his eyebrow, the entire Swarga started shivering. All the Devi Devatas started shivering. Now what Adibhotik Klesh Hiranyakashipu is going to commit? They all left their thrones and their homes and started hiding. So it is even there. But Srimad Bhagavatam doesn't give us Swarga. Shivadam will give us the highest auspiciousness, which is the Vaikuntha Loka. Golok Vrindavan. Tapotray Unmulanam. The three tapas, the three miseries, completely uprooted. No roots left. So there is no question of anything coming back or any propensities of pious, impious propensities that will affect us. So thank you very much. I've completed the second line of this verse today. Vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapotra unmulanam. And we will see some more darshans as the inspiration keeps pouring in on this verse. Hare Krishna. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bo. So if anybody has any questions, and I think Anup Prabhu, are you there? Or yeah, he's here. You can please open up the microphone and make your ending statement, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namah. Thank you, Satchidananda Prabhuji, for another nice lecture. Today we heard about, we are still on the second verse, second canto, first canto, first verse 1.1.2. And this verse is about bhakti, which is detached all from the materialistic behavior. We learned that this pious activity is very good, but it's not the ultimate. It's not the highest. So highest is the bhakti, pure bhakti, and which is detached from any materialistic aspirations. Thank you very much. We have an announcement. Next Tuesday, October 13th, is Param Ekadasi, and you all know this is Purushottam Mas, which is the pious month of all. So next Tuesday, October 13th, is Param Ekadasi, and please fast from beans and grains. The fasting time is from 7:30 a.m. to 11:12 a.m.
No, Hare Krishna. Sorry to interrupt you. The breaking of the fast is the next day on Wednesday.
Yes, breaking of the fast. Yes, on next day. Yes, on Wednesday. That is the Dwadasi. And everybody is requested to fast from beans and grains. And since it is Purushottam Mas, this Ekadasi is very pious. So please do it and get the blessings of God. Thank you very much. Have a very nice evening. We will be opening our platform for any questions and answers. Thank you very much. Anybody has any questions, they can open up their mic and ask.
Hare Krishna.
Is anybody? If you have any difficulty in unmuting yourself, you can write a message in the note.
Haribol, is the microphones unmuted for everyone? They can unmute themselves?
We can unmute though, but
No, I don't think so. Hold on one second. Now try. Now you all can try, please. Oh no. Sorry, there has been technical. Okay, go ahead and try now. Somebody can try now, please. Unmute yourself.
Yeah,
I'm able to
yeah,
unmute.
it's possible now. It's possible now. Anybody wants to unmute can unmute now. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
So if you all don't have any questions, I have some questions for you all. What did we? Yeah, okay, go ahead, Asim Prabhu. Go ahead.
So I'm not sure if I heard it correctly. So the moon, I was just checking on the internet. So it's around 4,000 kilometers. So it roughly takes 3 days from Earth, like with the.
No, that is wrong. That 384,000 kilometers is incorrect.
It's incorrect.
That is their calculation, not according to the Vedic. Yes, that is their calculation. It's like if I say India is only 500 kilometers away. So that is my statement. And if you all believe it, then, it's unfortunate. According to the Vedic cosmology, in one Brahman, there is only one moon and one sun. And that gives light to the entire earthly planetary systems and the heavenly planet. And Prabhupada specifically said that.
Okay.
So they must have landed on some satellite or some floating object in space, which they. Otherwise, why they are not discussing about going to the moon? They're sending so many space programs, sending so many space satellites, and they have space stations. Why don't you all have a space station on the moon then? They have International Space Station.
Yeah, because even ISRO had this Chandrayaan.
They wanted to sell. The rich people wanted. They were one time, I remember, advertising land for sale on moon. You can book, like we book properties here. Where are all those projects?
Now they are selling land on Mars.
They can send anything. The cheaters and the cheated. They will give. If somebody is willing to give, then in Gujarati there is one saying. Maybe I can translate it into Hindi. Dhutara hoita lobya bhuka na mare. Meaning, where there is dacoits, or where there is greedy people, the dacoits will never go hungry.
So even NASA is cheating, and even our ISRO is cheating. Like they are saying that the Chandrayaan.
Absolutely. ISRO never said they went to the moon, did they?
No, they have the mission.
They have a Chandrayaan 2 mission.
Nandrayanaya. And Nandpran Prabhu has made a very nice comment. He's saying, first you have to own, then you can sell. Without owning, how you are selling?
Yes, sir.
So that is the situation.
That's
But-
a good realization. Like,
Yeah,
So
That means,
anyways,
Prabhuji,
yeah.
Prabhuji, we have not calculated, we don't know the distance from Earth to Moon or Sun. The calculations which we read is not real calculation. So we don't know these maths.
Yeah, this is something that I will have to further go dive deep into some Vedic calculations and find out the distance. It's in yojans, but it is pretty far. Trust me. Like we have not even scratched the surface of our earthly planetary system. What to talk about the beyond Earth? All the seven main planets like the Saturn and all that is within the earthly planetary system. It is not even in the heavenly planetary system. All these galaxies and all that we see, the Milky Way galaxy, is a part of the earthly planetary system. So we have not even scratched the first Swargiya planet, or on the lower end, or the first Narkiya planet, or the hellish planet. So it is beyond the scope of our material thinking and our material education in this world. You'll be shocked. Maybe one day after Kartik, I can do that presentation that I was talking about.
all the statement first, giant small step and a giant step for mankind. All those are all false statements.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
It's like like they knew that they cheated, and then nobody wanted to take a risk further to risk their seats, as president or prime minister by declaring again. Because nowadays everything just like within a few minutes. Look at you guys, you Prabhus. Immediately I said find out, and Pankit Prabhu found out something for me. Nandpran Prabhu found out. You found out something. Everything is available these days. Of course, it is within the purview of the material world, but somebody can do. This is a homework if you all want, because this is an interesting topic that you have rekindled. Find out, according to Vedic cosmology, how many kilometers or miles away is the moon and the sun. So this is homework for everybody. Next week, maybe we can spend 5 minutes on this in the
Okay.
question answer session. How about that? Is that a good proposal?
Yeah, sure. This is
Make
really
sure you all, whatever you do according to Vedic cosmology. Yeah? Vedic cosmology.
yeah. So
Because according to the so-called modern scientists, the world was flat. I remember when we were studying geography. Then they came to the conclusion it is round. This round was already the name itself, Brahmanda. That is there in Vedic cosmology since time immemorial. Anda means like a round, circular.
yeah,
But we have lost faith in our Vedic system. That is the problem. We are so much engrossed with the Western system of comfort and eating, sleeping, mating, and defending that our real richness that we have in a Vedic culture, it's amazing. What is it? Even if we do pious activities properly, the kind of vaibhav that is there, aristocracy, is nothing what America or any other land has, or Sweden, or some of the best countries in this world. The opulence in the Swargiya planets is amazing. It's so and then what to talk about Vaikuntha? Beyond. Explain that. If you remember Swarup Damodarji with Srila Vyasadeva during the Hera Panchami festival, they have this nice conversation. And then what to talk about Golok Vrindavan? The beauty and opulence of Vaikuntha is not even a drop compared to Golok Vrindavan. That's what Swarup Damodarji tells the Srivasacharya, who acts as one of the what you call associates of Lakshmi Devi during the Hera Panchami festival. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very pleased when he sees that. When Swarup Damodar declares that, hey, Don't think that your Lakshmi Devi is that opulent. My Vraj is more opulent. The gopis of Vraj are more opulent. The opulence of Vaikuntha is not even one drop compared to the opulence of Golok. So this is all very relative, based on our experience. Dr. Frog philosophy. Prabhupada used to say this very often. That one time, that in a well, one frog was visited by another frog from the Atlantic Ocean. So the relative, and then the one who was living in the well asked his friend from the relative from the Atlantic Ocean that how big is the Atlantic Ocean? This big? And he spreads his forearms like that. He says, no, it's much bigger. Is it this big? Much wider? He spreads his arms wide open. No, much wider. 3 times? He says, no. 30 times? He says, no. Is it big as this well? He says, no. Maybe 10 times bigger than the well. They says, no. Maybe 500 times bigger than the well. No. So like that, Dr. Frog from the well is trying to measure the Atlantic Ocean. And that's what our so-called modern scientists are trying to measure, the opulence. Forget about the bhakti part. Just the opulence of Krishna cannot be measured. That is also incalculable.
Yeah.
Incalculable. But somehow or the other, we are here. That is why we have to cultivate this bhakti. Why do you think Prabhupada went through the pains of translating all these books and giving us? And the inspiration is that we should take up that torch bearing and give it to others. So many people we are trying to invite. Nobody has time. It's a shame. They want to Ahar nidra bhai maituram cha detat naranam pashubi samana. Simply eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. When will life be kicked out? We don't know. Right now, so many people we know in our group, somehow or the other, every day we are getting news. Somebody's father died, somebody's sister died, somebody's friends died. This COVID is creating havoc. But no. Ahani bhutani gachanti yamalaya sesha sthavaram ichchati yata ascharyam kim param. Yudhishthira Maharaj was asked this question by Yaksha. What is the most amazing thing in this world? So he says, ahani, slowly I'm seeing. Gachanti bhutani yamalayam. They're dying. My friends, my relatives, etc. I'm seeing, I'm hearing. Shesha sthavaram ichchati. Shesha means the rest. Sthavaram. The rest think that they are permanent. Sthavaram means permanent. Because they behave in such a way. We go to the crematorium sometimes or to the graveyard to bury somebody when the funeral happens. And we say, oh, such a nice person, Baba. We even shed tears. We even feel the pain. And we get that smashan vairagya. What is life here? Yesterday he was with us. Walking, talking. I just spoke to him yesterday on the phone. Everything was good. Such a nice person he was. Gone in a flash. But at that time, we get some vairagya. We get that smashan vairagya. That is why it is called smashan. Smashan means the crematorium. And vairagya means we get renounced. This world is useless, actually. Nothing we have to take. We all know that. Alexander the Great, when he died, before dying, he said that when you take my coffin for burying, make sure that you make 2 holes on the side. And I want both my hands outside, showing. Before he died, he said that. And he had so much opulence, Alexander the Great. Very young age, he had conquered most of the world. And then when he died, they followed his instructions. And what was that? He realized it, but still he could. He understood. He had the knowledge, but he could not realize it. But at the moment, last moment, he felt that, yeah, I came with empty hands. I'm going with empty hands. So he wanted to show the whole world that I conquered so many countries, but I'm going with empty-handed. All those helmets and those swords and those gold coins and the shiploads of wealth I have to leave behind. So that is what Yudhishthira Maharaj answered. He said, Shesha sthavaram ichchati. Everybody feels that they are permanent because based on our day-to-day interaction, living, People are inviting for satsang. Come, please, come to the temple. How many people? Because we don't believe in it. It will happen to them, but it will not happen to us. We don't have that conviction. Yatha ascharya kimma. That is the biggest surprise. That is what Yaksha said. What is the biggest surprise in the world? See, this is the biggest surprise, that we think everybody else will go, but I'm going to be permanent here based on our activities. That is the most surprising thing in the world. And that is why Srimad Bhagavatam is a no-nonsense, no cheating grantha. That is what it gives us. It gives us inspiration. Hardly the whole week we are involved in whatever we do, jobs, our family, other dharmas, duties. We are involved in all those things. 2 hours we get to associate with the Mahabhagavat like Prabhupada through his books. We should take full advantage and recharge our batteries for the whole week so that, our thinking, feeling, willing is for the Vedyam Vastavamatra Shivadam Taputra Unmulanam. The whole week it will bring auspiciousness. Weekly, because this is right now, that's how we are associating, week to week. It will bring us to the proper platform. It will uproot. We may have many problems that, who knows what is the next problem we will have this week. Either with some money or with health or something or the other. But if we are in the proper platform, tapatre unmulanam, it will uproot that tap. Those who take advantage are fortunate. You all are very fortunate. You all are regularly coming. It's an inspiration to me too. But this Krishna consciousness for all jivas, it is just not for you and me. All are anshas of Krishna. We have to help each other to be reclaimed so that everybody becomes Krishna. Bharat bhumi te manushya janma hoilo ja, jivan sarthak kori karo paropkar. Amar agya taro hi desh, jare dekho, tare kaho Krishna updesh. Mahaprabhu's words. Most of you all who are Orissas, from Orissa and Bangla, from Bengal have understood what I've said. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that those who are born in India, please make your life perfect. Take to this Krishna consciousness. Jivan sarthak koi karo paro upkar. Share. That's why I'm telling everybody. Sometimes, people may be thinking why I'm sending the same message 3 times. I'm doing it because I want to, please Sri Krishna, Radharani, Prabhupada, so that we can all help each other. We all have WhatsApp, Facebook, emails. What is wrong in forwarding the messages? Doesn't matter. People come, don't come. Forward. Give up people the opportunity to hear Hari Katha, to hear Hari Kirtan, to participate in this pure, no-nonsense Shivadam Taputrai Unmulanam programs. We have to take that to heart. And Krishna within our heart will notice that the sincerity of the purpose. Everybody can do their part. We all are preachers because Krishna himself is a preacher and we are his ansha. And we all can do seva. Even during these times where there is no physical seva required in the temple to cook or wash pots or anything like that. But this is the biggest seva. Read verse number 1866, 65, 64 of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that there is nobody as dear to me, one who preaches this message, neither in the past, in the future, or present. Nandpran Prabhu, what is that shloka, Prabhuji? Ye imam paramam guhyam.
Mad bhakteshva vidhashyatu.
Yes, mad bhakteshva vidhashyatu. Aage?
Ya idam paramam guhyam mad bhakteshva vidhashyatu. Bhakti mai param kritva mam eshasdiya sanshaya.
Yeah, bhakti param mai kritva. Those who are engaged in the topmost bhakti, mam evasyasya samsaya, will certainly come to me without doubt. Asamsaya. And the next verse, Prabhuji.
Yacha tasmat manusheshu.
Not 1 second. Nacha tasmad manusyasya. There is nobody in mankind. Yes, Prabhu. Next line.
कश्चिन् मे प्रियकृतं
Kaschin me priya. That who is so dear to me. Aage?
I am just forgetting the next word, Prabhuji.
That's okay.
Tasmat
Neither in the,
manushya-
and then Krishna says, neither in the past, present, or in the future, that person is so dear to me.
Bhavitavana bhuya. Bhavitavana bhuya is the ending word.
Bhavitavana bhuya. So neither in the past or in the future, such a person is most dear to me. So we should all try our best. And ultimately, I want that all of you, take to this study and then become preachers. Take it seriously and you all preach. Expand this Mahaprabhu's movement. We all can do it. Thank you so much. Anybody else has anything to say?
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the nice lecture. I'd like to add one thing
Yes, Prabhu.
about the distance of moon and the earth. I will not comment anything right now, but I can say for sure that man has not landed on the moon. This is what my Prabhu told me. In fact, about 15 years back, maybe close to 20 years, there used to be email, internet war on this subject, whether like NASA has really gone to the moon or not. So, because there are so many aspects, like the flag posted on the surface of the moon is just flying. So there are so many technical points, but while all the internet arguments are going on all over the world, so I'd been to India. I visited the ashram. So my Prabhu, who has left his earthly body 2 years before, just next parikrama, I was just going with him, and he just started saying, "Je aaj porjanto manush chandrote paa dayni." Because he
Yes,
is
it's
all-knowing
true.
Antarjami, he knew that this was going on. So I just arrived at the ashram. I was just on the parikrama. He told, "Aaj porjanto manush chandrote paa dayni." That means sure, because he is all-knowing. So this
Yes.
is for sure. Man has not landed on the surface of the moon. So, thank you.
Yes,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Yes. Very true.
And moreover, if NASA has gone, it's more than 50 years now. Why they've not got the second landing? Why not
That's
gone the second
exactly
time?
what what I had mentioned earlier, if you remember. Yeah. They are successful. See, if you are successful in something, for example, just take a simple invention like the telephone. So previously they used to have those magnetic, what do you call, dynamo type telephones, and they used to produce the current, and then they used to use that earphone like that, and then they used to talk, and then they later developed that into a regular dial phone, and then into a punching phone, and then it became those big first cellular phones that I remember that when I had bought about 20 years ago. They were so huge, like you're talking like you're on a satellite phone. And then they slowly reduce in size, and now we have this iPhone 12 that is going to be on the onset. So if something is being succeeded day by day, the development is happening. So this question is very true. Hariyar Prabhu is putting that if they were successful, then they would, by now we should have had, like the carnival cruise to the moon by spaceship. Right or wrong?
Yeah. And the most tragedy is, the saddest part is, billions of dollars are being spent just for nothing on researching the materials they brought from moon. And they have, offered to the Prime Minister of India, to the, the Prime Minister of England, they presented a piece of earth they have brought from moon. And people, science people.
As a matter of fact, Hariyar Prabhu, they even said that some of these pieces that they brought was from the Arizona crater. There is a huge crater in Arizona. And they even brought some of those pieces from there, and they presented it, and they still have it in the museum. So this is, the cheaters and the cheated world. That is why Bhagavatam, this is for non-cheaters. Shivadam tapotra urmulanam vedyam vastava matra. There is no speculation. There is nothing like that. It's pure. It's amazing, and we should take to that. Things like this will always be there. People's successes are measured like that. No, like Trump, he said, "Oh, this was a blessing from God that I got COVID. I am a strong man. Nothing happened to me. Nothing will happen to you. I took all these medicines. If just president got the medicines, you will also get the medicines." Lie after lie after lie after lie. That's what the game of the politicians is. Lie after lie after lie after lie, just to keep their position or to get elected. That's what Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada said. You remember on Prabhupada's appearance day, I had mentioned this part where he met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Prabhupada for the first time in Kolkata. His friend Abhay Babu, who was only 20 years or 22 years old at that time, after coming from work, his friend stopped him on the street and says, "Come on, Abhay, I want to take you to a sadhu. He's come to Kolkata." He says, "No, Baba, no, I don't have time. My father was a very simple man. Anybody who was dressed in the form of a sadhu used to give him dakshina, feed him. And later on, we have seen that he used to stop by at the pan bidi shop and take tobacco and smoke bidis. So I'm not interested to meet any sadhu. I have to go home, and I have my own Radha Madan Mohanji. I will do my seva." But his friend pulled him. "Abhay, only 5 minutes. This is real sadhu." And when he took him and they had the darshan, the sadhu looks at Abhay Babu and says, "You seem to be a very educated person. Why don't you preach the message of Bhagavad and Mahaprabhu to the English-speaking world?" And what did Prabhupada say? Abhay Babu says that our duty right now is to free the country from the British Raj. That is our duty. Again, the duty talking about patriotism, the isms. So that Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada said that you are talking about a freedom that is temporary. What is the guarantee? Today, India will be free. 200 years, 500 years down the road, one country can easily annex another country. And we have seen that in the last few years. Iran, Iraq, etc., Kuwait, America. So he says politics will not change, politicians will change. These are the words of Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Thakur. The kind of freedom that I'm talking about is permanent. Are you really free? You don't want to grow old, but old age is forced upon you. You don't want to die, but death is forced upon you. Nobody wants to be diseased, but disease is coming, it is forced upon you. How many of all us, how many people you ask the whole world, do you want COVID? No, but it is coming, it is forced upon us. So where is the question of our freedom? Even the birth, according to karma, we are born again. Some people say, "Oh, I've lived a very horrible life. Next life, I want to be born in heaven. Nice, I can eat 500 laddus, sleep when I want. I don't have to go to work. I can enjoy life." But my dear sir, the karma is so bad, you have to be born on a footpath again. Even worse, not a human life, become a rat. So even the birth, old age, disease, everything, and death is forced on us. Where is the question of freedom? The freedom I'm talking about, that Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada said, is the freedom of the soul. And once we enter that land of Vaikuntha, then there is no question of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. There's no question of birth, death, old age, disease. This is what, and we can stay where we are. Sthane sthita shruti gara gatava manobhir. Wherever we are not saying tomorrow the week is going to start from a lot of us who are already working out of home or whatever they're doing. Yes, keep Krishna in the center. We are earning money. Let us keep that consciousness, keep changing that. Yes, my dear Krishna, I'm going to utilize this money to keep my family comfortable, but not make them crazy and not overspend, because this is your money, my dear Krishna. Perhaps you can guide me so that I can use it in the right direction when the time arises. That is Krishna consciousness, that is pure bhakti. That is proper consciousness. And associate. Create the groups, create more and more people. Everybody has Krishna in their heart. Everybody is a jiva. Chaitanya Charitamrita says Krishna Bhakti sadhu karanai. Shravan ade chitte karoy uday. You do not have to obtain Krishna consciousness from outside. Shravan adi. Shravan, Kirtan, Smaran, Adi, etc. Hriday, chitte karoy uday. It remanifests. Right now, the flame is dying. So, only a Vaishnava can reignite that and re-establish us in our original position. That is the goal. We try to help each other. What else we need? We don't need anything else. Honestly, at least I don't. That is the idea of this satsang. That, just with, purity, honesty, we should give it to what Prabhupada, what our acharyas, what our Vaishnava acharyas have given. With whatever best ability we have. Without twisting things, as it is. We don't have to know all the 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. But that is why we are spending so much time explaining each word, so that the essence should be understood. People are thinking that pious is the best thing to do. The best thing that they say when a person dies, uska swargwas ho gaya. Because they do not have any concept beyond swarga. But somebody who is a devotee like Anup's father, 3 weeks ago, unka Vaikuntha vas ho gaya. Because he chanted the holy name when he left, he was doing puja, and then he left in that consciousness. But if somebody else says, oh, uska swargas ho gaya, sahu sabka. No, because they have no concept beyond swarga, beyond heaven. And all this training will help us at the time of death. If we are really well-wishers of our friends, our family, engage them, try. What is the worst? How many times they have said us no for many things that we ask for? So they will tell us no. And here there is no question of saying no. Use everything in Krishna's service. We have media, whatever, Facebook, WhatsApp, email, telephone. Oh, satsang is there. Please come and join. Come for a few minutes. Stay for a few minutes. Even a few words that will go from Bhagavat in their ears. You don't know what kind of great service you have done to them. Great service, just by that ordinary effort. We should try to. My humble request. We are not here for the sake of money, or we don't want to build big temples, or we don't want any. We want love. This is real love, honestly speaking. When we are really thinking for the other person, for the eternal well-being of that soul. With whatever little we have. Just like when we have one somebody in our house, they bring some nice mithai. It might be a small box. And there are 10 people. Everybody share a little bit because something nice has come. Same thing. First, we have to be convinced that we are receiving something nice from acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, like Srimad Bhagavatam. 2 hours, 2.5 hours, that's all a week. And then that will inspire us to do things on our own. Better chanting, better reading. It is inspirational. No? Just like when somebody tells us about a job, oh, I just graduated, I don't know what to do. Then you talk to a guy who is already involved in IT or something like that, and he will guide you. Oh, you take this course, few days, then your resume will be ready. And how enthusiastically we follow all those steps for our materials progress. We are eager to get our H1 visas or whatever, so that we get a job or the equivalent of H1 visas in Canada for our material progress. What about our spiritual progress? We all can do it. Don't think that none, because you know what, we are parts and parcels of Krishna. We should not underestimate the power of Krishna. We should not underestimate the power of personalities like Srila Prabhupada. So, Thank you so much, all of you. Try to be more interactive for the entire Bhaktivedanta, on behalf of Bhaktivedanta Bhagavat group. Inspire each other. That's my humble request to you. That's a good service that Krishna will appreciate for the pleasure of Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. If anybody doesn't have anything else to say, then I wish you all a very safe week, spiritually surcharged. Keep chanting Purushottam Mass. We are still, and whether it is Purushottam Mass or not, once we are so surcharged that we are just eager to do our spiritual activities, along with whatever else we have to do to keep our body and soul together. Yeah, there are bills, mortgage is there, electricity bill is there. We have to pay for our car, insurance, this, that, children's fees. All this is there. We should not stop that, but keep Krishna in the center. And everything will fall even more effectively and nicely. And at the same time, otherwise, we can do all the materialistic activities perfectly, but where will it leave us? That's what I'm saying. Or where has it left us in all these lifetimes? But let's say we do our materialistic activities that we are required to, and at the same time, we involve slowly, gradually more into spiritual life. Where will that take us? That will take us a long way to a better world, to a better place. Vedyam vastavamatra shivadam taputra unmulanam. What beautiful words. Just that one line is amazing in today's verse. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Anything before we have, I've noticed first time, I think, Keshav Bhai, you want to unmute your mic. We want to welcome you to our Bhaktivedanta Bhagavat group. Can you unmute your mic, please? No, unmute mic once. The red icon. There is a little microphone on your screen or on your phone, and you click on it once.
I was trying to do it, but I couldn't do it.
No, he has to do it on himself, Keshav Bhai.
But we are co-hosts, right?
Let me see if I can do it at my.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, it's done.
Okay. Yes, Keshav Bhai. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna. I am President of His Divine of America, Los Angeles chapter, and President of Indian American Community of Southern California. We are going
Can you, Keshav Bhai, can you speak a little closer to your computer? We cannot hear you that well. Can you repeat and give your introduction again?
Okay. Myself is I am Professor Keshav Patel, President, Vishnu Parishad of America, Los Angeles, California, and also Indian American Community of Southern California. We are celebrating Bhagavatam, the birthday of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel on October 31st. So I am just busy. This is the 12th year I am celebrating Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's birthday. Bharat Ekta Div.
Welcome. So please come. Our group is motivated only by bhakti, and you are welcome to join our and since you seem to be a popular person in Los Angeles, how did you get this invitation? Somebody sent you?
I have the WhatsApp group. I got it.
You got it from the Bhagavat group.
Yeah.
Okay. So please invite others. My humble request to you. So it is every Sunday. It is 5:30 Eastern time. So I think you are what, 3 hours behind, right? So it is what, 2:30 your time?
2:30 our time.
Yes.
But I had a meeting at that time. I just done and I was working on it, follow up, and all of a sudden I remember. So let me say that whether I can connect with you. And I was able.
We are very happy to have you here. Thank you for joining, and please keep coming and
so
spread.
We are also I'm connecting with uniting the Hindu temples of Southern California. I am organizing them and having a conference every 2 years. 4 times I did it. That is
Okay.
known as Hindu Mandir Executive Conference.
Okay.
And my friend Dr. Tribhuvan has done the same thing in London just last week. There were 140 temples, means mandir, attended, and 240 people attended. Like that.
Okay.
So we are working for our Sanatan Dharma.
Yes. Yes. So once we study Bhagavatam, we will get a very wonderful, clear picture of Sanatan Dharma.
Correct.
Because Bhagavatam is the beacon. Bhagavatam is Sri Krishna. And he left himself in the form of Bhagavat to guide us as a beacon.
My
So thank
name
you
is
so much. It was nice meeting you. You are welcome to come. And I encourage that you try to pass on this message if you are able to.
Forward it to our friends also. These are the
I'm
contacts.
sorry, can you repeat?
Yes, I will forward this clip to my friends or our contacts.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sure you have your own social group.
I think you got that message from the Panorama India, which we sent. So there is a WhatsApp link in that email. If you can send out that WhatsApp link, so they can directly join the WhatsApp group and they will get all the updates.
Yeah, WhatsApp I did in the beginning. WhatsApp and WhatsApp. I can see only few people here. I can see some more cameras.
Can you give me your number? I can just double check, please.
What number?
Your phone number, your WhatsApp number, please.
My WhatsApp number is 71714.
1 second. 1 second. What is your number, please?
1714. 1 means America. And 714-809-2.
Sorry. 1 second. I'm sorry. I was trying to. Okay. What is the area code?
714.
714
809
809
2446.
2446.
446. Yeah, 2446.
2446. Okay.
Correct.
And you are Mr. Patel, right?
Yeah, Professor Patel. I was
Sorry.
principal of Science College in India.
Keshav Patel is your name?
Yeah, Keshav Patel, my name.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Patel, for joining us. And I just wanted to make sure that if you are in our group or not. And then once we will send you a link, you can send it to your group. If people are interested, they're more than welcome to join. This Bhagavad Katha, we do it every Sunday. So
it's nice. We have to reach to as many people as we can. And when we are taking so much trouble, I think many people should take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I will be happy to forward your information to other friends.
Thank you. I have just added you in it is called Bhaktivedanta Bhagavat group.
Okay. Thank you.
I've just added you. If you have received it, if you can just take a quick look and let me know now, because you cannot reply to it. It is only admin.
Yes, I have received it.
Okay. So what we will do is we will send you a link that you can forward so people can freely join, and then they will automatically get the notification every week.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Yes.
Jai Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol.
Hare Om.
Hare Krishna. Okay, then everybody, please take care. Be safe. Please depend on Krishna and always think of Krishna. Hari Bol.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu. Dandavat.
Dandavat pranam, Mata.
Hare